Hello, I am Sideburn, and I am a complete and total metalhead. There are a lot of heavy metal bands out there that don't get quite enough credit. And today, I'm going to take a look at one of them, specifically Savatage. And I decided to go back into the glory days of heavy metal. Way back. Maybe you remember it. The 1980s. Everyone had long hair. Tight pants were okay. And awesome guitar solos were everywhere. The specific album I'm talking about? Hall of the Mountain King. I'm only going to highlight a couple of the songs on this album, but trust me when I say the entire album is absolutely bitchin'. The first song I'm going to talk about is actually the very first song, titled 24 Hours Ago, and the riffing is awesome, and if you don't believe me, just listen to this and try not to bang your head. Legends grind, I hit the red line, I'm moving fast, forget the past, I'm burning tread, in my head, I am 24 hours ago, yeah. Gotta escape, can't take it anymore. The next song on the list of highlights is the actual namesake of the entire album. It's a heavy metal staple. I mean, it had a cheesy as all hell video. But it was the 80s, it was okay, and it was, let's face it, still the beginning of MTV. It was wonderful, and the song itself is just absolutely fantastic. I find it very hard to believe that more people don't know about this band. One of the best songs Savatage has ever done. Take a listen and tell me this is not a metal song. For those of you who like a little variety in your albums, the next song, which is White Witch, is practically thrash. I mean, it's fast-paced as all hell, and I can imagine quite a few people moshing to this. In fact, I would. And if you don't believe me, listen. It's awesome. Heartbeat is rapid, your blood pumping faster. Hands reach for the blade. Touch her, feel her, your body in crater. She leads you to your grave. Jesus, image of taste down in winding you. No, you want it now. Casting a spell of power on you. You bleed, but you don't know how. White witch, rising in you. White witch, coming for you. White witch, taking your souls. White witch, taking control. The last song is somewhat reminiscent of Iron Maiden at their peak. Titled Devastation, it's suitably dark, creepy, and yet also has that fun Iron Maiden romp to it.
surprised more people don't know about them. I'm surprised that they have essentially disappeared. Granted, nowadays they're around as the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, but still. They went from Dungeons and Dragons to... Savatage was way underrated as a band. I don't know what the hell happened. In the early 80s, they were pretty much as cool as you could possibly get. They had the dark tone. They were as cool could possibly be. I don't know what happened to make them just sort of disappear. Mismanagement, maybe they didn't get advertised enough, I don't know, but whatever it is, they deserved better. A whole lot better. So, in hopes that people on the internet will like this, and like them, I would like to recommend a couple of Savatage albums, though. First off is, of course, this review, Hall of the Mountain King. It's a fantastic album. It's one of the best shred albums out there. It's absolutely wonderful. If you haven't heard it, go find it, and it's wonderful. The next one, the next album I would recommend to everyone is The Edge of Thorns. It is the best album Savatage has ever made. It is absolutely fantastic. Chris, the lead guitarist, absolutely outdid himself. He was fantastic in that album. The next album or pair of albums actually, are their first two, Sirens and The Dungeons Are Calling. Those two albums were essentially made at the exact same time, and it shows in how they were recorded. They're fantastic albums. They sound a little muddy and outdated by today's standards, but they're still fantastic. They're nothing to be laughed at. The guitar work is fantastic, and John, back then, could actually sing. He has that gruff, sandpaper tone throughout his entire career, but back then he could hit those high notes really well. The last album I would like to recommend is the tribute to their first lead guitarist and real heart behind the band, Handful of Rain. It was a tribute to Chris and his way of guitar playing, and it's very well done. It's the best album that he wasn't on. Not to say that the albums that the other Chris were on were bad. They're not. They were very good. They were very well done. They were very well made and written and produced. They were excellent. But they're all concept albums. They're not all metal albums. They're not, yeah, let's go headbang and mosh it up. They weren't like that. They were more dignified. Not that that's a bad thing. That's perfectly fine, but the other albums before that, they were intelligent, they were well written, but you could also thrash around to some of the songs. There was a bigger variety, basically. That's my review on Savatage. Crank it to 11 and keep on heading.